Guys, guess what time it is? It's time for Nightmare Night. Yes, that's right. I am finally doing another reading. I know I have not done these in like forever. But my room is finally sorta done. It has been under construction. I was not able to access it. There was sawdust everywhere. It was a big mess. Carpet's gonna have to be replaced, but at least I can be in my room now without having any trouble. So, yeah, another Nightmare Night. Fuck. It's been forever. And I'm very much happy to be back. You know, I'm going to be doing more of these. I might do more of these stories tonight. And I'll have them render overnight, and then I can upload them tomorrow. We'll have to see. So, you know, I have the usual setup. I have a drink. I have my laptop in front of me. My Turtle Beach is on my head. And I have the story here. Today, what I'm going to be reading is All the Little Nightmares. It's a sad/dark story. Shit. Sad/dark story. And I found it on FIM Fiction. And the description is: a storm is raging over Ponyville, and Twilight Spark was hunkered down for the night with a nice mug of hot chocolate and a book. Everything changes for her, however, when a strange stallion comes in from the storm. Who and what is this unexpected guest? It's about 7,200 words. Holy shit. It's only one chapter. It's rated mature, as you can tell by the picture. That picture is so creepy. Holy shit. I don't even know, man. But let's get to it. Disclaimer, I do not own My Little Pony Friendship is Magic or any of its characters or concepts. I make no money from this writing. A/N. So here we go, my first foray into the evil and macabre with My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I hope you all are horrified reading it as I was writing it. And please, in the name of Halloween, try to make it to the end. Wait, what? My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Dashy's After Party. What? The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. H.P. Lovecraft. Okay. Night. A storm raged over Ponyville. It showered down sheets of freezing rain, pounding ceaselessly on rooftops and windows, and carts left abandoned out on the street. It tore through the streets as a cold wind, store signs swinging about on their chains, trees creaking as they bent in its wake, leaves caught helplessly swirling in its eddies. Window shutters and screen doors went bang, bang, bang against walls and doors, like the banging of a traveler's hoof. Why don't they ever lock those? I don't even know. Calling for the attention of the ponies inside. The world was dead. Dark, the colors of the world driven away by the rain and wind, just as the inhabitants of the town had been driven into their homes to warmth and light, friends and family. Not a living soul walked those cold, dark, abandoned streets. I'm getting the biggest Silent Ponyville vibes right here. Light tore across the sky, dragging the world for a moment back into the light. From the shadows of the town entrance gates, a deeper shadow emerged. Thunder crashed and the shadow moved. The slender figure... Oh god, no. Slender Man! Don't look at him! Gotta grab them pages, man. Moved through the empty streets, its hoofsteps drowned out by the pounding of the rain. If they could have been heard at all. It went untouched by the storm around it. Neither was its suit, black as the night above, wet from the falling rain, nor did its tie, red as new-shed blood, whip about in the wind. Puddles it passed showed no reflection, and the fur of its coat, white as bleached bone, went unblemished by the mud of the road. The storm was nothing to it. No! No, 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 no. Not Slender Man. No, not Slender Pony. No. No, no. Let's not do that. No. Oh, shit. In that storm, no living creature, pony or otherwise, was out to see the slender figures passing, but that does not mean its passing went unnoticed. Its shadow stretched out from its hooves and fell on the houses it walked by. And as it did, the ponies inside their homes paused in their actions. Happiness left them. Feelings of cold and emptiness touched the hearts of the ponies, as if the shadow itself had slipped in through the door and touched them. But the slender figure did not linger near any home for long in its walk. As it left, so did the feelings, until the ponies were able to shrug off the sudden chill as something from the storm, and resume their happy activities. Snacking, games, books, embraces with loved ones. Sex! All the sex! These all protected them from the cold as much as the walls around them and the fire in their hearts. The storm reached new levels of ferocity as the slender figure entered the town square, the buildings opening up around it. The wind shrieked, the rain felt like spikes of ice and battered the buildings and on windows, street lamps, poles, and fence posts. Ice spread out, cracking and creaking. The slender figure stared across the square towards a building unlike any other in town. It was a large, massive, the inside of the trunk carved out into a building, a library, a home. From its windows poured streams of yellow light, warm and cheerful, almost defiant to the cold and darkness the storm had brought to town. The slender figure considered the building before it reached the decision. Oh boy. Oh shit. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. 10:25. A streaming batch of hot chocolate and a book, leather-bound or hardback, big or small. Such little joys were all Twilight Sparkle needed to defeat even the darkest, dreariest storm. You and me both, girl. Yeah. Could be a collection of ancient Griffin epics, a treatise on modern magical theory, a history of relations between ponies and dragons, or a silly little thing. She snuck out of the romance section where she was sure Spike wasn't looking. Yeah, it didn't matter what. It was a collection of paper pages with words on them, and kept between two covers. Twilight could and would read it. Even books not written in modern Equestria were not safe from a voracious reading. Being as proficient as she was in Old Equestrian, Dragon Tongue, she's Dragonborn, Griffinese, and the languages of the Elkish Kingdom. She was the prized pupil of Princess Celestia, ruler of Equestria. She would never let something as simple as a language barrier stop her. Well, it would definitely stop me. At that moment, in that storm, Twilight was snuggled up on her couch, a roaring fire in the fireplace to the right to read by, and a particularly steamy novel picked out at random from the romance section placed down in front of her on the armrest. Why would they even have armrests? You know, they never really rest their hose on anything, do they? She had little fear of being discovered reading such a silly little thing. Her dragon assistant Spike had gone to bed hours before, complaining to Owlowicious. Damn, I still can't read that name. All the way up the stairs about crazy purple ponies and their reading obsessions. The owl had simply hooted at this and flown off, up into the attic where he had stayed since. It seemed even owls would sleep at night with such weather. Twilight's horn shimmered constantly, as she would alternate every few seconds between turning a page of her book and lifting from the end table a mug of hot chocolate to her lips. Oh, I want that. I have just plain syrup. But it's still delicious, you know. Blah, blah, blah. Her eyes stayed trained to the pages, soaking in the words she read with a blush enveloping her cheeks. Oh shit. Oh shit. Woohoo! Oh boy, she's reading Klopfix, isn't she? Oh, Professor Love. Wow. Just wow. How can you get away with being so risque with your students? She turned to the next page, read the next few sentences, and eeped as her blush grew even brighter. Oh my! This is beginning to get a little more than risk. I think even somebody like Rarity wouldn't get flustered at this. Would get flustered at this. Oh, nice, nice. A sip of her hot chocolate, and she delved once more into the book and the story unfolding within it. The storm outside went unheeded. Neither the shrieking wind, the pounding rain, or the flashing lightning and crashing thunder enough to pull even the slightest bit of Twilight's attention away from the plot. Yeah, I know the feel. Oh, I know all the feels. Oh, great. Now we have knocking. Let me try to imitate that. Twilight nearly jumped from her laying position on the couch, her focus breaking. Her mug of hot chocolate slipped from a magical hold and shattered on the floor. Aww. Too bad. For a moment, Twilight sat shaking, patting a hoof to her chest to calm her pounding heart, before it leapt from her chest. She looked down at the spreading brown puddle on the floor beside the couch and sighed. That was a really good batch, too. Then Twilight looked to the door. She had just heard knocking from the door. The door had just been knocked on. Something had knocked on the door. She could not deny it. You don't say, Twilight. Oh, God, this story. Well, I can deny it, but that would be pointless. Plus, it would be rude. I should really stop talking to myself and get that door. Some pony must be outside in this weather. Yeah, I really should get the door and let whoever's outside in. Oh, Twilight, you just like me. You know, it's just a thing, you know. I talk to myself sometimes. I do it to practice, you know. I'm just practicing, you know, reading, commentating, that sort of shit. Twilight did not move from the couch. Looking at the door, at the moment silent from any knocking, she felt a thrill of fear make her heat flutter in her chest. I suppose that is hard. Okay. She did not want to open the door. Did not even want to get near the door. And to her utmost annoyance could not even give a good reason why. It would be really strange for a pony to be out this hour and in this weather. Maybe it was just a branch caught in the wind hitting the door, or perhaps the window had been blown open in another room and banged against the wall. Or Aloysius up in the attic had knocked something over. Twilight flinched at the sound of the renewed knocking, her heart once more feeling like it wanted to leap from her chest. Her eyes snapped back to the door and she frowned. There was no denying it now. She had heard knocking, even though it defied all common sense as far as she could tell. Yet, even so, if there was a pony outside knocking on the door, then something could be wrong. Some pony could be in trouble. She just couldn't ignore that. And so she stepped off the couch, taking care to avoid the spilled hot chocolate and shards of ceramic, and began to cautiously approach the door. Twilight! Be careful! Don't trust him! He's a pedophile! Nah, I kid, Slenderman. Hello? Who's out there? Twilight's... Hello? Who's out there? Twilight's eyes darted to the doorknob, expecting to see it move after her call, with sign of some pony trying to enter. She had locked it that night, and so far had not been given a reason to unlock it. But as she waited 5, 10, 15 seconds for an answer to her question, none came. No sounds at all came from beyond the door, other than the wind and rain. I said who was out there? If some pony's out there, answer me. Again, no answer came. It seemed that whatever had been knocking had moved on. Or there was never anything there to begin with, other than my overactive imagination. Twilight's face turned into a frown as her analytical side surfaced to try to make sense of what had happened. Yes, just some wind in my overactive imagination, of course. I heard one thing, maybe a tree branch or a sign hit my door. And then with my thoughts already active from reading my I've stopped with this way too long. And then with my thoughts already active from reading my imagination ran away with it. Hiding any other stray sounds. I happened to hear instant knocks on the door. She nodded to herself, her mind beginning to be at ease as it deconstructed with practiced ease the events. I mean, really, knocking in this weather? This is the sort of thing I would admonish Spike for. I can almost hear him laughing as how I'm acting right now. Lol, 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 lol. Oh shit. With that mystery solved, Twilight gave the door one last look before shaking her head and turning to go back to the couch. No! Twilight, be careful. No, don't look at him! Oh shit. Shit's about to go down, boys and girls. But then she stopped, her breath leaving her. There in the doorway to the kitchen stood a slender figure, barely 10 feet away from her. It was a pony, that was for sure. It was thin, almost to the point of sickly. It stood taller than her, taller than any pony she had met other than the 2 princesses. The proportion of its legs to the rest of its body, like that of a child hitting maturity and growing. On any other pony, like Fluttershy, it would have looked amusing or cute. But here it was only terrifying and wrong. The slender pony was a figure of white fur, the sickening shade of bleached bone, and a dark suit black as ink spilled on a fresh page. The only color to it all was a red tie, like fresh blood. No, Twilight, run! Turn around! Don't look back! He'll be behind you! Shit. I knew this was Slender. Twilight took all of this enduring one moment of frozen terror before her eyes moved upward and found the most horrible of horrors. The thing, the creature, the slender pony, all Twilight could see where its face should have been was a blank stretch of skin and coat. What? No! No! Twilight, run! Twilight, fear, fuck everything and run! Jesus Christ. The slender pony moved forward towards Twilight, not so much stepping as sliding. Whatever spell of fear holding Twilight in place broke, and with a cry of terror she turned and ran for the front door. Before she made 5 steps, the creature released a shriek that pierced her ears, and suddenly the whole world around Twilight went fuzzy. No! No, 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 no. The screech of white noise filled her skull, sending her to her knees. She gripped at her head with her forehoofs and screamed. Pain at a level indescribable flooded through her, as if razors were stabbed through her eyes and scraping at the back of her skull. Okay, ill? The world began to fade in and out to Twilight as she spasmed and jerked, slamming her head against the hardwood floor again and again and again. Make it stop, stop, make it 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 stop, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, Nah. Miss? As if a switch had been flipped, the pain was gone. The white noise silent, as if it never had been there. Oh shit. Twilight lay, crumpled on the floor. Pending for breath, she realized after a moment that she didn't need. In fact, as she gathered her wits and focused a moment on herself, Twilight did not feel like she had been screaming or slamming her head against the floor at all. The only signs that anything had happened at all were that she was kneeling on the floor and her memories of the slender pony in the doorway. The slender pony! Oh God. Twilight jumped to her host and spun around, expecting to see the towering form of the slender pony advancing towards her, perhaps his blank face leaning forward towards her face. What she saw instead was a normal-looking earth pony, perhaps as tall as Big Mac, and certainly not as tall or thin as the slender pony. His coat was cream white, like eggnog, his mane and tail gray and cut short, and his eyes the lightest shade of pink she had ever seen. Twilight's frazzled mind barely registered that he was also soaking wet and shivering. What? Say what? Okay, what the fuck just happened? What? Oh, great. It's teeth chattering. I can't do that. I can do it kind of shaky. You know? The earth pony smiled down at her, his teeth chattering, some in his mouth. I'm, I'm sorry for startling you. I didn't mean to. I tried the front door, but no pony answered, so I circled around back and found the back door unlocked. He folded his ears back, a blush coming to his cheeks. I guess I should have called out as I came in. Seeing a strange pony in your home during a storm like this can't have been good for your nerves. Although, the stallion continued, chuckling some, it was kind of funny when you tripped over your own hoofs to get away from me. Are you okay? Wow. What even happened there? What the hell? Twilight stared slack-jawed at the stranger for several seconds, trying to process what she was hearing. So it had been this pony outside her front door. So she had been hearing knocking after all. Okay. And then she had turned around and seen him standing in the doorway. So that was when her overworked imagination took hold of her. Yes, now that she thought about it, this made perfect sense. This earth pony in front of her was taller than average and had a white coat, so in her shock she had exaggerated some things. It wasn't the first time this had happened. Twilight's face lit up red as she realized her mistake. She looked up to the stallion, opening her mouth to apologize, when the full picture of him standing there, dripping wet and shivering in cold, hit her. Oh, I'm sorry. You must be freezing. Go over to the fireplace and warm yourself up. I'll go get you some towels. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. 10:30. The stallion nodded and smiled in appreciation before making his way over to the fireplace as instructed. Twilight hurried in the other direction, going past the door to the kitchen to the main floor restroom. She opened the cabinets with her magic and dug through the towels for the biggest and fluffiest among them. All the while she thought about her visitor. I've never seen him around town before. At least, I think I noticed him with such a unique color scheme. She levitated several towels she was happy with from the cabinet and shut it, turning back to the door. I didn't even take a look at his cutie mark. I suppose I should. Check out that ass. That flank. Baby got flank. Twilight flicked the light off and left the bathroom. She returned to find the stranger sitting by the fireplace, forehooves held out before it. He looked up from the fire at her approach and smiled, taking one of the offered towels. Thank you kindly. It feels good to get to dry off and warm after a storm like that. Don't mention it. Just being a friendly pony. Twilight returned a smile before turning as the stallion started rubbing over himself with the towel and, with the two other towels she had, started wiping up the trail of rainwater he had left in his wake. So what were you doing in that storm, if you don't mind my asking? I figured everybody would be in their homes by this point. Oh, well, yes, if they have homes to go to. The stallion twisted around to run the towel over his back. As he did so, though, he overextended and lost his balance, flopping to the floor face first. Twilight giggled at this, prompting his face to flush red. He quickly picked himself back up. You didn't see that. Anyway, as I was saying, ponies with homes would be in their homes. I, however, am a traveling performer. I make my life on the road, traveling from place to place and bringing thrills to my audiences. By this point, the stallion had stood back up, wrapping the towel around his shoulders like a cape and making broad gestures with his forehooves. The scene reminded Twilight of another show pony that had visited Ponyville once, and once again she giggled to herself. Oh, I see. Trixie. We all know it's Trixie. Anyway, he continued, settling back down beside the fire. I was traveling near the edge of the Everfree Forest when this storm suddenly sprung up on me. Knowing the dangers of that particular forest, I instead headed here to Ponyville for refuge. Yours were the only lights that were on. So here I am. But wait a second, that doesn't sound right. There were other lights on, like they said, the shadow was affecting the other ponies. So something fishy's going on there. Twilight quirked an eyebrow as he jumped up onto the couch where she had been before he arrived, but let it slide. It sounded like he had been through quite a lot. Well, I can certainly understand your preference for Ponyville. I've been in the Everfree a few times, and I can safely say that's everything you heard. He tossed the towels she had used to clean up the floor and tossed them into the hamper near the stairs, figuring Spike could get them in the morning. Anyway, you're free to stay the night if you want. I have plenty of spare blankets and some hot chocolate in the kitchen. Wait a second. Okay. Twilight paused as she turned fully toward the couch for the first time since the stallion had arrived, her eyes narrowing in confusion. She stared at the mug of hot chocolate on the end table, sitting right beside where she had left her book. What? She remembered it falling to the floor and breaking. She remembered commenting on how it was a good batch of hot chocolate. She remembered cleaning it up while she had been cleaning up the water. Or at least, she thought she did. Ooh, is that hot chocolate? Twilight jumped when the stallion lunged forward, wrapping his forehose around the mug and lifting it up. He downed the contents of the mug in one long gulp before setting it back down and groaning. Oh, yeah, that hit the spot. You don't get much in the way of creature comforts while on the road, so you have to get them where you can. Wow. What a bastard, that's rude, you just... Ooh, a cup of hot chocolate, let's drink it. You're like, come on, that's rude. They're like, ooh, a bottle of alcohol, let's take it, Yeah. Twilight looked down at the empty mug. Her empty mug. Before picking it up and shifting up to the smiling face of her stallion guest. She put up a weak smile of her own and turned towards the kitchen. I guess I'll get us some more hot chocolate then. You just wait there. Huh. That's weird. That's really weird. And how can he drink a cup of hot chocolate in one gulp? Like, I've tried that before. It didn't work out. I ended up burning my mouth and my tongue hurt for a week. I might not want to do that, but it was super hot chocolate. Like, it was fresh. It was like freshly made, so pour myself some more. All the way there, she could feel his eyes on her. Ooh, he's eyeing that flank. As she grabbed a new mug from the cupboard, as she mixed together the hot chocolate mix and heated it up with her magic. It probably doesn't help that I left the kitchen door open. Twilight looked to her left, where she could see the stallion sitting on her couch, apparently occupied with watching the fire. She smiled a little to herself, choking that weird feeling just to overact active nerves. A traveling performer. Burp. An Earth Pony traveling performer at that. I should try to introduce him to Pinkie Pie. I bet she'd got a kick out of this. Oh, darn it. I forgot to look at his cutie mark again. Okay, this time for sure. Oh, wait. damn it. I can't do Piggy's giggle. Fuck! Twilight nearly spilled the hot chocolate at the sound of giggling. Very familiar giggling. She turned and scanned the kitchen for any sign of Pink, but saw none. Pinkie? Pinkie Pie, are you there? Oh, shit. She got no answer. Twilight looked around for a moment more before shrugging and chalking what she had heard to have been thinking about the pink pony. Take the now ready mugs of hot chocolate. She left the kitchen, closing the door behind her before trotting across the room to the couch. Well, here you go. Ponyville's world-famous hot chocolate in a mug. The stallion chuckled at the obvious mimicking of his theatrics and took one of the mugs in his forehoofs. He took a deep sniff of the rising steam and sighed. Oh, this is going to be delicious. I love chocolate. Thank you again for so much of your hospitality, Miss... Oh. Twilight blushed, sitting down beside the stallion on the couch and placing her own mug on the table. No, I'm not married. I'm just Miss Twilight Sparkle. Though I don't think I've ever been called Miss now before either. Oh shit. Oh shit! Really? The surprise on his face was clear. A smart, beautiful mare like you in a small town like this? Not married? Well, surely you must have a colt friend, or mare friend at least. Oh there. Oh there, she's not a lesbian, boy. That's Rainbow Dash. I kid, Rainbow Dash. Twilight shook her head, her blush visible from space if she were outside. Beneath the embarrassment, however, something else stirred. Something she didn't feel comfortable dealing with. No, I don't have a colt friend or a mare friend. Actually, I've never been in any sort of romantic relationship. Back when I lived in Canterlot, I never had time or interest in that sort of thing. And ever since I've come to Ponyville, I've just never... Damn it. Had any pony be interested in you? Said the stallion, finishing her unspoken thoughts. Twilight frowned and nodded. He sighed, shaking his head. I know that story all too well. There's a young, pretty mare, smart and thoughtful and kind, living in a small town with great friends and a perfect job for her. Only something is missing from her life. Passion, love, that spark of romance we all crave. And so the pretty mare lives her life away, wondering where it went, and if her friends could have helped her, but didn't. He took a deep gulp of his hot chocolate and then smacked his lips. Delicious. Not that you're doing like that. Lol. Twilight gaped at the stallion, mouth ajar. She couldn't believe the nerve of this pony, sitting on her couch, drinking her hot chocolate, enjoying her hospitality, but going on in such a way about her friends. It was so true. Her eyes drifted down in thought. Rarity's the most elegant and fashionable pony in town. She could easily help me understand the whole romance dating thing. With all the suitors she turns down, it couldn't hurt to send some my way. Pinkie Pie, she knows every pony in town. I'm sure she would know some pony who'd fit me. A moment later, Twilight shook her head, banishing these thoughts from the forefront of her mind. This was all ridiculous, she thought. Of course her friends weren't holding back on her to hurt her or something, but maybe she could ask them. Next chance she got, just to be safe. The sound of a clearing throat shook Twilight from her thoughts. She looked up and saw the stallion look at his mug and frowning. I apologize. It just dawned me on how rude that might have been. I'm sure that your true friends, if you have any, mean you no harm. Whoa, this guy's creepy. Twilight blinked. She wasn't exactly sure how to take that. No harm done? The stallion smiled. That's good to hear. Losing trust in your friends is the fastest way to lose them forever! Oh, goodness. This guy's really creepy, actually. Yeah, wait, what? I said that this hot chocolate is delicious. He took another sip from his mug, making a big show of swirling the hot chocolatey liquid around in his mouth before swallowing. Holy Trek, this stuff is good. Do you think I could? The stallion was cut off by the sound of her gurgling stomach, making him blush, and Twilight put a hoof to her mouth to keep her from giggling. Do you think I could have something to eat with this? Maybe some cupcakes? Oh, God, no. No, 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 no. Cupcakes? Twilight put a hoof to her chin and thought. Oh, yes, my friend Pinkie Pie delivered a fresh batch of cupcakes earlier today. There should still be plenty left. I'll go fetch them. Stein beamed at Twilight. Sweet. We do things right, and this could be just like a slumber party. Wait a second. How does this guy know that? He's really creepy. That did it. With those words, Twilight squealed, clapping her hoofs together in excitement before hopping off the couch. Yes, yes, yes! Oh, that sounds just great! You stay right there, I'll be right back with those cupcakes. Giggling, Twilight turned and began to hop, not unlike Pinkie, towards the kitchen once again. Despite her reservations about her guest's rudeness and other actions, she decided that she was going to enjoy the night as best she could. I can't believe it, a slumber party with a guy. Oh, I hope it isn't too different from the sleepover I did with Applejack and Rarity. Ooh, he did say he was a traveling performer. Maybe he could put up a show for me. That would be really... Oh, shit. Oh, no. No, no, no. Twilight never got the chance to finish that thought, hopping through the kitchen without a glance inside first. Twilight all of a sudden found nothing for her hoofs to land on. Her eyes widened as a black abyss stretched out before her. Her mouth opened in a scream as she fell into the darkness. From the couch, the stallion watched the kitchen door slam shut. He turned back to the fire and finished off his hot chocolate with a smile. The show was planned from the start. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, God. No, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Not that. Not the cup. No, no, no. 1,000 times no. I see where this is going. Shit. Twilight regained consciousness to find herself in a dark room, a single bulb above her shining a cone of light down on her. Beyond that, there was nothing. No light at all. She could be in a void for all that she could see. But I went into the kitchen. Twilight flinched after she spoke. Her throat tightened sore. She tried to turn her head to look around, but found it held in place by a thick leather strap around her neck. Similarly, braces around her across her chest and limbs held her tight against a rack formed by several sturdy planks, holding her limbs wide apart from her body. The whole contraption reminded Twilight of a medieval torture device, a thought that did nothing to calm the rising panic she felt. She began to pull at her bonds, struggling to escape, only to stop at the sound of laughter. Very familiar laughter. If you guys don't know what this is gonna be, if you guys don't know it already, this is Cupcakes. This is the scene from Cupcakes. Yep. From the darkness in front of Twilight, two sky blue eyes appeared, followed a moment later by the grinning head of Pinkie Pie. The pink party pony hopped over towards Twilight, laughing and grinning as merrily as she always was. Hi, Twilight! I'm so super duper excited to have you here. Pinky, what's going on? Why am I tied down like this? Well, duh, you're tied down like that so you can't move. Pinky giggled louder and bopped Twilight on the nose with a hoof. I didn't think I'd have to explain something so simple to a brainy make egghead like you. Oh, shit. Twilight resisted the urge to yell at Pinky. That wasn't a very good answer. Instead of grunting and shaking her head as best as she could while it was restrained. But Pinky, why can't I move? For that matter, where am I anyway? The last thing I remembered, I was back in the library. I was sheltering a traveler from the storm. I was getting him cupcakes. Pinky giggled again and hopped back into the darkness. Oh, I know, Twilight. He'll be getting his cupcakes. Oh, shit. Wait, am I... Yeah. The next moment she came trotting back into the light, pushing her before her a small cart covered in a white cloth. She stopped in front of Twilight and, grinning up like a mad Cherise, ripped the clothes off of the cart. He just gets to call the shots on what cupcakes he wants. Twilight's eyes widened at the assortment of medical instruments and cutting tools laid out on the cart, all wickedly Whoa, that was fucked up. Sharp and gleaming. Her heart pounded in her chest hard enough to hurt as she looked back and forth between the knives, scalpels, saws, and pliers on the cart and Pinky's smiling face. Then, sweat tracing its way down her face, Twilight began to laugh hysterically, Pinky quickly joining in her. Huh. Oh, oh, really funny, Pinkie Pie. Twilight's voice was high, tinged with panic. Awesome prank, you're the best one, your best one yet. So, whose idea was it? Yours, Rainbow Dash's? Yeah, I bet it was Rainbow Dash's idea. She's such a clever pony, yeah? And she loved pranking a Nightmare Night, and this all has a certain Nightmare Night flavor to it. Twilight was rambling. She knew she was rambling. It was the only way at the moment to stave her mounting panic. I bet she's somewhere around here right now, watching and barely holding a laugh train. Right, Pinkie Pie? Right? No. Pinkie kept laughing a moment longer before shaking her head and creeping backwards, slowly sliding back out of Twilight's sight. No, sorry, Twi. I don't think Dashy's laughing right now, but she is here. Here, just let me get the lights. The sound of a cord being pulled was heard, and then the room was filled with enough light to reveal the rest of it. Oh, we're going back to this, are we? Yep. We are going back to this. And there's some weird sounds outside. Whatever. Twilight stared. Oh no. The room Twilight was in was horrible, and all the horrors assaulted her at once. The stench of the blood-bathed walls and dried intestines hanging from the ceiling like streamers slithered into Twilight's nose, filling her mouth with the sickest sweet taste of blood. It made her heave and empty the sticky, brown contents of her stomach onto her chest and belly, whimpering as it oozed down her flanks and legs to her hoofs. Flies buzzed about tables made of pony bone and dried pony flesh, their buzzing driving into Twilight's ears, as if the slack-jawed, socket-eyed pony skulls mounted along the walls were screaming. But the worst, the absolute worst of Twilight, was the body of Rainbow Dash nailed to the wall across from her, her wings gone and her limbs splayed out to the sides and nailed there like she was some big bug. Her eyes were puddles of mush in their sockets, kitchen knives handled deep into them. The whole front of her body was split open, cut snip from chin to groin, with the skin flaps peeled back and held in place by clamps, and looking in Twilight saw the empty cavity the Pegasus' insides emptied out. The blood drained into a tub set out beneath her. As mind-scatteringly horrible as this was, Twilight didn't even register the pony skin dress Pinkie had donned. You could say Dashy is hanging around. Oh, she would have laughed at that if she were alive. Oh God. Pinky stood up on her hind hooves and pointed up to a patchwork banner of pony skins hanging from the rafters. "Life's a party," scrawled across it in blood. "Welcome to Dashy's after party, Twilight." Oh God. Oh. Twilight screamed then, trashing in her restraints as Pinky hopped back over to her. No, Rainbow Dash, she cried deep, heaving sobs. Unwilling to stand anything she was seeing. It was wrong. It was all so wrong. Oh, Rainbow Dash, why, Pinky? We're friends. We're friends. Oh, of course we're friends, Twi. But that just makes having you and Rainbow Dash down here all the funner. Besides, I don't make the rules. Dashy's number simply came up, and now yours has too. Pinky was skipping now, dancing around Twilight with a scalpel clenched in the cleft of her hoof. And no asking questions about the rules. Twilight, you egghead, that's against the rules. She came to a stop on Twilight's left side. Well, enough with the shaking. It's time to get bacon. Oh my God. Oh man. Oh no. No, please don't. Ah! Twilight shouted in pain as Pinky placed the scalpel an inch above Twilight's cutie mark and began a circular cut around it. Rivulets of red ran down Twilight's legs as she squirmed. Her sobs reduced to weak whimpers and cried as her friend cut away at her. Finishing the incision, Pinky grabbed from the tray a curved skinning knife. She stuck her tongue from the side of her mouth in exaggerated concentration as she worked the blade under Twilight's skin and sliced the hide from away from the muscle. Twilight shuddered, grinding her teeth to keep from biting her tongue as she watched her flesh peel away. Pinky then repeated the process with the other cutie mark. Ugh. Once finished, she held them up in front of Twilight and waved them around like pom-poms. Twilight just cried at the loss of her marks of her talent, her flanks burning with the worst pain she had ever felt. It was agony. Well, now that I've left my mark on you, it's time for me to nail ya. Pinky dropped the stolen cutie marks down on the tray before turning her attention to a small can on the tray. She moved the lid, revealing the can to be filled with red-hot coals. Lying on top of the coals were a multitude of large nails and screws. At the sight of them, Twilight began to panic again, crying for Pinky not to do this. Pinky ignored her. Picking up the can, she trotted over to Twilight's left. Holding some tongs held in her mouth, Pinky picked up a screw and positioned it at the seam between Twilight's front leg and hoof. Left leg and hoof. She then grabbed a hammer and took careful aim. Hey, Twi, let's screw! Oh God, sex jokes? Are you serious? Come on. Really? Really? No, Pinky, Twilight pulled at her restraints. No! The hammer came down and the screw punctured flesh. The white-hot burning was too much. Twilight screamed as she pulled and trashed at her braces, rubbing her skin until it was raw and torn. No! Oh, Jesus. Ugh. Pinky lined up again and swung the hammer, but with Twilight's movement, it all went off target, burying an inch-long nail into Twilight's hoof itself. Twilight burst out into crying and begging, Please stop, Pinky. Pinky rolled her eyes. She put down the hammer and tongs and then walked around in front of her broken friend and stared at her in thought. The unicorn was sobbing, bleeding from multiple parts of her body, and mumbling barely intelligible pleas for mercy. Gilda hadn't even cried this hard when in life. Parasite had been, "Ooh, idea!" Laughing to herself, Pinky turned and hopped away from the table to a far corner of the room. Twilight watched her rummage around some crates for for several seconds before looking at best as she could her mutilated hoof. Blood poured from it, and she was beginning to lose feeling in it. Vague memories of stepping on a nail once as a little filly surfaced briefly in her mind before being pushed back down. This was so much worse. Oh, no! Just... Oh, no! Jesus Christ! Ugh! A laugh of triumph caught Twilight's attention. She looked forward again and saw Pinky hopping towards her. Something round and squirming gripped tightly in the pink pony's mouth. Wait, what is that? But then after she asked this, Twilight recognized what it was and began to panic. No, wait, you can't, please, oh, Celestia, please, no. In the middle of Twilight's scream, Pinky leaped forward and slammed their lips together. Wow. Jamming the living parasite into Twilight's mouth. At the same moment, she released her hold onto the creature's wings, allowing the horrid, buzzing thing to zoom around in panic. Pinky quickly pulled back and stuffed the hoof over Twilight's mouth to keep the parasite from getting out. Ugh. Watching in glee as the unicorn's eyes bulged and wept, limbs flailing in their restraints, blood seeped out of Twilight's mouth around Pinky's hoof. As for almost a minute, the only sound to be heard was a buzzing. Then the buzzing began to fade. Disgust mixed with horror on the unicorn's face as a screaming, wiggling bulge appeared in her throat, slowly traveling down the neck of the length of her neck before disappearing into the chest. Pinky removed her hoof from Twilight's lips and began giggling. Oh wow, Twilight, you swallowed the thing whole. Not just whole, but living. I didn't think you had it in you, Twilight, but I guess you do now. Oh, that was so wrong. Oh god, I did not want to have to laugh at that. Dude, no. Like you're eating a live bug and you eat it living and it's living inside you. Ugh. I haven't done this in too long of a time. Twilight groaned, looking as if at any moment she could throw up. She opened her mouth and choked for a moment. But Pinky? Yeah? I want to see Spike again, Twilight sobbed. The party pony knocked. Oh no. Oh shit. This is a fucked up version of Cupcakes with Twilight and so many sexual references. Oh. Yeah, I can see wanting to do that. You two have known each other for years. Heck, you hatched and raised the little guy. You're practically his mother. A mommy, but no daddy. How sad. But don't worry, your pretty little head. Your baby boy will grow up big and strong without you. Unless, of course, his number comes up. Twilight hung her head and cried. Pinky giggled and nuzzled the unicorn's chest. She then turned back to the tray and picked up from it a large hacksaw. She turned back to Twilight and grinned. Well, Twilight, it looks like it's time to end this. I don't know about you, but I'm beginning to get horny. No. No. I'm not sure if I can go on with this. I will. What? Twilight looked through tear-stained eyes from Pinky's smiling face, to the hacksaw gripped in her hooves, and then to the necklace of unicorn horns dangling from her neck. Twilight's eyes widened in renewed horror. No, no, please, 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 no! You say no, but your body says yes! Pinkie turned the wheel on the rack, rotating Twilight around on her back. She then hopped onto Twilight, her rump resting comfortably on Twilight's puke-smeared belly. Ill. She leaned forward and held the hacksaw against the unicorn's exposed horn. Oh, no! Ah, no! No! Oh, dude, this is making me legitimately sick. No, stop it, don't, no, ah! White-hot agony flooded Twilight's head, driving all rational thought from her. She felt the jack teeth gnawing through her skin and bone, making her puke again. The of the saw so close to her ears filled her head, making it feel like it would burst. Every back and forth of the wicked blades made her scream. Bloody froth flying from her lips. But then the sawing paused. Pinkie was only halfway through. Though through the haze of pain, Twilight could feel her horn hanging on through a patch of skin and splinters of bones. The flowing of magic through the air reduced to a mere trickle. Ah! This is... I thought Cupcakes was bad, but this is just horrible. Hey, Twilight, think fast! Pinkie yanked on the horn as hard as she could. It ripped free of Twilight's skull with a deafening crunch. Flaps of skin and mane sticking to it. Blood erupted from the gaping wound, painting their faces in red. Twilight's body seized from the trauma. Her eyes rolled back into her head. Her pelvic tensed. The suffering unicorn felt a feeling of warm release between her legs. Gosh, Twilight, I had no idea you were gonna be a squirter. The sexual references in this, goodness grief. Unable to breathe, unable to think, her vision swimming with Pinkie's grinning face and Dash's corpse and a towering slender pony behind Pinkie and approaching. Twilight felt parts of her go numb. The world around her began to grow dark, Pinkie's gleeful cackling transitioning into a masculine voice. As the last bits of her mind cracked and faded away into the darkness, a few words unfamiliar to her rose to the surface. Why? Then Twilight's sparkle was gone. What the fuck happened? This... What? I don't even... Fuck it, I'm gonna keep reading. Twilight Sparkle sat on the couch and stared into the fireplace, its crackling flames reflecting in her dumb, lifeless eyes. In her hoops was balanced a romantic novel from earlier that evening. Flipping to the last page, a drip, 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 drip was heard throughout the room. A tickle of blood oozing from the left corner of her mouth was leaving little red beds on the blank book page. What? Beside Twilight on the couch, the stallion wiped some cupcake crumbs from his lap and sighed. Well, that was as good for you as it was for me. I certainly hope so. That's my absolute favorite little show to perform. Although, you must be Y, I assume. Twilight let out a groan, slumping forward a little. The stallion smiled and leaned in, licking once at the blood at Twilight's mouth. It smeared across her cheek. Well, it's very simple, really. There are rules to the whole thing. The nicer, the purer something is, the more enjoyable it is to ruin and corrupt. And oh, was this enjoyable. You really should try it sometime. I guarantee from now on you will never look at your friends the same way, will you? But I want you to be honest with yourself. As horrible, painful, sickening, and disgusting as you found it, some small, sick, twisted part of you enjoyed everything that happened. Somewhere a grandfather clock chimed the midnight hour. The stallion looked briefly up at the sound, listened to the clanging of the bell, before his smile turned wistful. He stood and looked back at his audience. Spike and Owlicious watched in fear from the top of the stairs. Well, the day is over. It's finished. This is the end. What? So... the hell just happened? Really? What happened? What? So... is she dead? Or is she still alive? I can't tell. There's only one chapter, so... let's see if this guy has any more things. There's nothing else. So, yeah. That was most certainly interesting. But I'm still wondering. Is she dead? What's gonna happen afterwards? I don't know. I can't tell you. So yeah. That's kind of it, I guess. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I most definitely did not. But yeah, but really, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm doing this all for you guys. I'm honest, you know. I love reading. I sometimes like this kind of stories. It's just this one was... it was different. Let's just keep it that way, you know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you wish to suggest me any stories, put them down in the comments below, and I will read them. And if anybody here knows a My Little Pony Red Dead Redemption crossover, please let me know. I must read one. Like, I've successfully finished Red Dead Redemption a couple days ago, and that ending, my God, I cried. Well, I didn't, but you know, it made me extremely sad. If anyone knows one, let me know. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. And yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, add it to your favorites, share with your friends, do all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.